next level and just, and today here we are. So first of all, I want to introduce myself to you guys. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mohammed Salah. And I was brought up in Gambia. I was brought up in Talinding Bandaba actually. And I lived there since I was young. I grew up in a very nice culture, and I grew up in an environment that was very friendly, and people were very, close with each other. And, I think about maybe 12 years ago, we moved here. My father had been here all his life, but we moved here 12 years ago, and a lot of things happened. Some of us became business owners. Some of us got married in my family. Some of us, went to school and became something. But at the end of the day, we're all Gambians, and all of us try to go back when we can. Especially me, I'll spend almost I think I've did about maybe 15 trips to Gambia in the past 5 years. And the reason for that is just my love for the country. Like, I don't want to live anywhere else that's not Gambia permanently. Like, when I think about my future 10 years from now, 5 years from now, I see myself in Gambia and nowhere else. I mean, I like to travel, I like to go places, but I see myself being in Gambia. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. It's just that the opportunities in Gambia right now are not so wide for everyone to get a piece of that. The piece of the pie, or actually enjoy it. So today my goal is to present to you an idea and a strategy that we're going to be taking to help develop our country. So I've teamed up with a lot of people, and I'd like to thank them too for helping me out. My friends Andy, my co-workers Oz, my co-worker Ansu, and a lot of people who helped me to actually do this today and actually stand in front of you guys and tell you how we're going to do this and how we're going to actually execute our plans and become a better nation. So this is just kind of like, some of the books that I recommend, for us to kind of read when it comes to knowing about Gambia. So Gambia is located in Africa, and it's located right there by, Senegal, and we are actually inside of Senegal. So for us, what we have always had over the years was always like promises, and nothing was ever done. And I want to make this clear right now before we go further. What we are doing is not about politics. What we are doing is never going to be about politics. It will always be about putting together young people and making sure that our country is making a step towards development no matter what. Because we have 24 hours in a day. And if we look at the 24 hours, we can spend more time helping our country become a better nation than just settling for the 24 hours that we spend every day. So just to kind of show you guys a little bit of our statistics right there about Africa. So as you can see, most African countries actually will export goods. So we export goods that are like something that someone will come and buy from us, take it to Europe, make something out of it, bring it back to us, and sell it to us at a higher price. So it's like we're not making any revenue over this if you look at it over time. Because if I have to build my house in Gambia, I gotta go and buy doors outside. I gotta go and order tile outside. I gotta go and order everything from outside. And all of this is the reason why we have all these problems, is because we're not focusing on ways to get into manufacturing. We're not focusing on ways to actually help our people have different strategies and different mindsets in business to take the chance to actually say, you know what, here's a problem, I'm going to solve it. In Gambia, a lot of people believe that only foreigners can actually, succeed because they come with a different business model than we always do. Like, we start a business with no paperwork, nothing filed, we go to KMC, come back, that's it. And it's a lot more to it than just starting a business. You have to actually break it down into systems, processes, product, sale, and make sure that you know your numbers. So my goal is to teach young Gambians about business, tell them how we can get into business and how we can become better business owners and how we can build businesses that will last for good. And my other mission is to make sure that the country that we live in is livable. People that live in a country deserve to be healthy. They deserve to actually go to school. They deserve good health when it comes to our older people. And we need to make sure our transportation system is efficient as possible and also is eco-friendly to where it's not giving us like cancer and all these other diseases that are killing our people. This is a saying that I always, picked up from Africa when I go back, and over the years, just kind of like, I've heard a lot of people say it. If you want to go quickly, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. So the whole point of this Develop Gambia is to bring everyone together. Is to bring all of the youths, whoever want to volunteer, whoever want to, become a business owner, whoever have dreams, to do things that you never thought you could do. We are here with this platform and the platforms we have back home, all of the podcasts we're going to actually come out with. It's all going to be towards development. Like our number one mission is to make sure Gambia actually becomes the best country in Africa, becomes the most like a tourist destination for every single continent out there, and for our people to finally feel that we are going to be going towards the right direction. So let's kind of get more familiar with Gambia. I'm sure a lot of people you watching know all this already, but we have about maybe five or six tribes. We've got the Mandinka population, Fula and Wolof, Serial, Jola. And for the most part, we fight a lot when it comes to like the Facebook pages and all of that, but we're all the same. I mean, when you go to Gambia, you look at everyone, there's no hatred here. There's none of that. Everybody actually is the same. Because I remember my house when I was young, my father, who has been in America for 20 years, 30 years, who actually lives in Gambia now, will always tell us that, to be grateful, to be humble, that what we have right now, is nothing. Because you go other places, see somebody have a lot of stuff. And in Gambia, one thing that we always, so remember is that we live in a poor country, and helping each other out will actually get us where we need to be. So let's look at these important points right here. So this one I want to actually, break down into steps right here, every single one of them. These are the problems we have right now. We have water shortages, and some houses don't even have water. Some houses don't even have water at all. And then our power system is not so good. Our healthcare system is not good at all. And most of the people in Gambia live in deep poverty, and we just don't really address it. And then the education system is not so good, and the businesses, which is one of the most important part, is not actually sustainable. So I'm going to kind of give you guys a quick presentation on how we're going to actually make all these things possible. So when it comes to water shortages and consequences, we have to make sure that we actually, promote having resources that actually are renewable. So if we can use our river, to have purified water from the river, and then, be able to have boreholes, and, just making sure that we use all the natural resources we have should be used at the highest capacity. That's just the bottom line right there. And then for the power shortages, we have to make sure that we just try to, use as many solar systems as we can, and also like I said, build buildings that are actually gonna only need less energy and not so much, and have many ways to actually renew the energy that we're using in different places, and be able to just have solar farms and different things at empty places that we're not using right now in order for us to become sustainable for the long run. Our healthcare system needs to be really tightened up. First of all, I want to talk about our pharmacy system. Our pharmacy system is not so efficient. The medicines that come into Gambia, we don't know where it come from. We don't know where half of this stuff come from, who prescribed it to us, any of that stuff. It comes to Gambia, we drink it, and we hope we're going to be fine. We need to make sure that we take steps towards that. We actually control that. We have a lab system that actually makes sure that every single medicine that's being sold in the Gambia have to go through the lab before it can be sold. It got to be approved, and it has to actually work for our people. So Develop Gambia actually have a plan to invent a pharmacy that's going to make sure that people can get their medicine through air, like using drones and different things that we can use to get the medicine right to you guys on time and make sure that nobody's getting sick and people actually are being healthy. So when it comes to the deep poverty, our plans are to actually, have our youth teams report to us which families need help, and we'll do our best to either raise funds for the family, or we'll do a TV show about, making sure that we go to the house, check the house out, see how the people are living in there, televise it, and have sponsors actually, instead of giving us cash, they're going to sponsor doors and other resources that we can use to make that house better. And our education system needs to be tightened up. Our goal is to make sure every single Gambian, and I'm not just saying kids, even people who started school and left, or older people that want to just go back to school, we're going to invent a strategy that's going to make sure that we can get to everyone. We can reach every single person. For our businesses, this is where I get excited. So our businesses are never really a talk of the nation. Like, it's a hit or miss. You start a business in Gambia, you try for a while, that's it. And one thing people forget is that the name CEO is so overrated. We start a business, we go on Facebook, put CEO, and think now we're the boss. And then people actually gonna give us the hype, like, oh, you're doing so good, you're doing so good. And that's not it. When you just start a business, you just beginning there. Like the beginning of the business is just one step. You have way more steps to go. You have to actually break it down into systems. You have to break it down into processes, meaning that how you want the business to run. How do you want your employees to do what you do? How are they going to clean the floor? How are they going to clean the doors? How are they going to clean every single thing? It needs to be organized, so that way every single person that comes to the business actually appreciates you. So our strategy includes helping people in every single city, helping people actually learn about business, maybe having a kitchen where we can have like a group of people come and learn about becoming a restaurant owner, and they can start from scratch, build their brand, get ready for everything that they can do, and then we actually help them, consult them to actually go out and start their own business while they're still part of the platform. We'll support them with marketing and all of that. So let's finally say hello to Develop Gambia. Let's finally break it down. Let's finally break down the system in a very simple way. We're going to focus on one city at a time. We'll develop a plan on making sure that the city has everything it needs. Because our idea is that we're not going to build a Gambia that requires cars and all this stuff. We're going to build a Gambia that's going to actually make people enjoy Gambia, a green Gambia. We're going to go out in our youth teams and actually like plant trees at poor areas and areas that we feel like needs it, and we can put it there. And we'll push as much as we can to put more trees that are actually going to give us food, shelter, and most of the energy that we need, the oxygen and all of that, the fresh air. And I feel that that's going to actually change the way our people live and the way our society is. Once we actually look at the city, we build a plan, and then we build the systems and processes to create jobs for the city. We got to create entrepreneurs within that city. So once we do that, we take those entrepreneurs, we teach them about business, we make them actually understand how to become business owners, how to actually thrive, and we'll invent businesses that are not only going to be for Gambia, but businesses that can actually make money outside of Gambia. So we'll open call centers, we'll open like maybe advertising agencies, marketing agencies that are actually based in Gambia, but can have customers all over the world. And there are smart people in Gambia that can work at the place, do the exact work that somebody who worked here would have done, and they can actually have a way, to earn up to like $500, $700 a week living in the Gambia, and they've never been here. And it's crazy, but this is really possible. We just don't think it's possible, but it's possible. Like, I personally took my own business here, took it to Gambia, have my call center in Gambia. While I was here working, they were doing all of my calls. They were booking all of my jobs. We live in a world where technology actually allows us to do all of these things. And one thing that we're going to really focus on is also making the country sustainable. We got to become self-sustainable, meaning we got to make sure that we are renewing our energy. Like I said, we're gonna make sure every single thing that needs to be going to the garbage. We look through it. We break it down into paper, metal, rubber, plastic, whatever. We look at whatever we can make out of these things. Maybe we can make doors out of it. Maybe we can make, the plastic pans we use in Gambia, buckets, different things. And right now, everything is being dumped at Coto Quarter, just going past it. Going past it. We can do better, and we'll do better. So let me explain this important point. We're a nonprofit organization. But I'm going to put together our business model for us to scale. That way you guys understand what we're going to do. We're going to pick a city, like I said, build it green, create new businesses, invite investors, and everything that we do will be different. We'll go out, take all the wealthy minds that we can convince to become one, build one actual building for them, put them all in one building, have a brand for every single one of them, and find a way to make the best doors in the Gambia, make the best gates in the Gambia, make the best furniture in the Gambia, and anything related to metal. Before we import, we're going to test it in that factory with having all these welders who've been doing this stuff for all these years, putting all these minds together in one place will allow us to become a global brand from just metal. We go into our markets. Our markets are going to be green. Our markets are going to be green. They're going to become, a very green environment, and all the vendors will be so organized that they can do whatever it takes to make sure that people are living healthy, people are eating healthy, and also the vendors also will be profitable for the first time. When I go to Sukuta and I go to all these other markets, I see somebody carrying a pan on their head, and then they will go everywhere, like travel like 10 miles to go get something. You bring it back. You sell it, and you go home with maybe what? $100, $200. It's not the best thing. And then one thing that we will do once we do that is we're going to actually use the same strategies that we do in one city. We'll use the same strategies in every single other city that we can probably get into. And it's really simple. As we go on, I will explain to you guys how we plan on doing this. So when we create a business and help the business owner become something, help you actually get to where you need to be, we're going to keep a percentage out of your revenue and take that money, give it to someone else to do the same thing you did. This way we are creating multiple business owners within our country. Let's look at the roadmap. It's not as accurate as possible right now. Things can change, but we just looked at the areas that actually are big that will actually benefit from this. So imagine Banjul right now. We have 5 youth teams in Banjul who report to us and work with us whenever we implement a new initiative. Whenever we come up with a new initiative that can actually take it and implement it, it will be so beautiful. Because if you have a group of youths working together every single weekend, doing all this work in every single area, making sure the city is better, making sure the city is clean, making sure that whoever doesn't have roof or door or food to eat, the youths are telling us that we have found a solution to actually help those people. This will help us become a better country. And I want to talk about our core values. Most companies have a core value, but the problem with that is sometimes it's not worth the paper it's written on, or sometimes it's not even worth the area that it actually takes on the wall where they put it. It's just words that they put together and never embrace it. I'm here to tell you one thing. For Develop Gambia, every single one of our core values is something that we actually believe in, and we're not doing this to become the next politician people. We're not doing this for YouTube views or whatever you call it. We're doing this to make sure that the country sees a better future. And we'll start implementing every single initiative that we actually will put together in our office in our platforms, and the country will become better. And one of the things that we believe in is committed development. We'll connect the dots. Together we succeed, and we'll empower women. And I want to talk about that for a minute. We will create the best systems for our women. We will make sure that every youth team that we actually create have women in it. We'll make sure that at some point we build a school for women to actually, Gambian women to become different things in the world, maybe flight attendants, nurses, different things that they can actually learn and take somewhere else and make a lot of money, come home, enjoy, and have a better life. Take a look at our vision. So our vision is simple. We want to have kiosks in every single store that we could probably have it in. We want to make sure that every single Gambian that doesn't have access to bank accounts, you can use that kiosk right there, open up a way of having digital money in your wallet. You can track it, you can take money out of it, you can buy groceries out of it, you can pay your energy bill out of it. You can do many things out of it. And for our mail system, we'll have drones. We'll use them as much as possible to actually have drones fly out and help people actually get to their stuff on time, which is medicine or whatever is emergency. And our power supply will not be uninterrupted, will be uninterrupted, and nothing's gonna stop us. We're gonna have solar just renewing, taking more solar in the system, just making sure that we are always renewing more energy as we can for our people to actually live a better life. And when it comes to our transportation, we don't see a Gambia with cars, like I said. We don't see a Gambia with many cars pollution, because it's too small, it's too tight. We don't really have a way to have all these cars in the country. We don't need it. And we're too small. We can get around the country quick by just building better roads, better systems, and just being more eco-friendly. So maybe we put like a whole bunch of flowers, like I say, gardens, we put a whole bunch of trees, and just use the slab method of just having like a pavement that's like not fully concrete road, but just some workspace for bike lanes. And then we can probably have golf carts. We can have digital bike lanes. You can just go and just put your card in, or you can go in there and put a code in and pay and get the bike. You ride it to wherever you want to go, and you can put it anywhere you want and do whatever. So this way, we can have multiple bikes in the country, multiple scooters that we can use, electric scooters, and we can also have transportation via electric cars that are not so big, that are not going to use that much, that much gas and all this other stuff. And one thing we're going to try to get to is actually, have a system to be able to do what they do in Europe, which is having a tram. It helps, because if we have maybe just like one main railroad that's like going from Birkama to Banjul, it will really help, because the tram can it can transport people quicker, and it can be more efficient throughout the day. It's green, and the energy is not going to be like, it's not even compared to buying gas and all this other stuff. So as you can see, we need to come together. We need to come together. We need to build a better Gambia. This whole project is about building a better Gambia. It's about building the future of the new Gambia. And we can't do it alone. We need people to come on board. We're going to have a group that we're going to be, putting together all the time. We have an app coming up. It's called Develop Gambia. The app allows you to connect with people in your allows you to connect with people that are outside, that are Gambians. The app allows you to use all of your apps that you use on your phone on one application, which is the Develop Gambia application. And we'll use that app to connect youths together, to be able to just set out initiatives. So we might just say, hey, we have a new initiative this weekend to go out and clean up like 10 different areas in the city. We might just come out and say, hey, we have a new initiative this weekend. We want to have maybe 5 people in that area come to our show and tell us what problems they're facing in that city and what we can do to make sure that we help that area become exactly where it needs to be. So to be honest to you, developing Gambia sounds crazy, but it's not so hard. We just need young people to come together. And I keep saying this, we just need young people to come together and believe that we can do it. And if we do this for the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, we see a 5-year plan that's gonna be clear, that's gonna be like beautiful, and it's gonna put us on the map, #1 tourist destination. We even intend to like not have tourists go to the hotels anymore. We're gonna develop homes in the neighborhoods in the Gambia, like neighborhoods that people don't even go to when they come to Gambia right now. We'll make sure that a family can host someone and give them everything that they need throughout the day. So this way tourists can actually experience the Gambia. You can come stay with a family of 4 or 5, you know, you can get to see how they live, how their lifestyle is. And it used to happen before. You know, we can bring that back. Let's come together and do this. And I hope you guys like the presentation and be ready for more coming. We have the daily podcast coming up in Gambia every morning with Andy and Ansu and Oz. You know, we have a different things coming up. So be on the lookout for it. And everything that we're doing is just trying to raise awareness that we can do this together, and Gambia, it can be a better country. Man.